G'day friends, 19th of March 2026. This is George, happy to tell you about today's message of hope. And of course today's topic, a little bit ahead of ourselves, but why not, it's a bit of fun. It's good people are having a bit of a picnic here, it's great. It's the last thing of summer anyway. Alright. Oh wow, that barbecue smells so good. Back to the topic. Wasn't long ago a colleague of mine used to get genuinely excited about Black Friday. Yes, it's March, but I'm talking about Black Friday. Anyway, he was, I can tell, properly excited. Tabs open on his browsers days before. Countdown energy, the real thing. Let me open a gate here, hold on. Okay. Anyway, one year he came in on Monday morning with a new pair of branded headphones. Heavily discounted, he said. Great deal. I looked at him for a moment. He was already wearing headphones. The same pair he'd worn every day for the past year. No complaints I ever heard from him making about the headphone. So I asked him gently, I thought, what's wrong with the ones he had? He didn't really have an answer. The new ones were better, makes sense. Newer model, better specs. Yeah, maybe that was true. And maybe the old ones had a fault I knew nothing about. I'm genuinely not in a position to judge people. Each to their own. But before I say another word about my colleague, I have to tell you something about myself. I bought a deep fry once because I like fried food, right? Not because the old one broke, didn't have one, but I properly convinced myself that this was a purchase that would deliver years of service. I could picture it clearly. Weekend cookings, proper chips, deep fried. The occasional indulgence, yes. I had the whole family thinking that I had a fantasy mapped out before I even got to the checkout. Oh, guess what? I used it twice. Cleaning a deep fryer, turns out, is not a great task. It's a project. The oil, the smell, the dismantling, none of that had featured in the fantasy. So I sat on the bench for a while, then in a cupboard. Then I took it to a pawn shop and sold it at a loss. What do you expect, George? I should have waited, shouldn't I? A few years later, the air fryer arrived. Some basic appeal, a fraction of the cleanup, considerably less in oil involved in the whole operation. If I had sat on the impulse and kept the money, the technology would have eventually caught up with my desire for crispy things and done the job properly. No, I did not sit on the impulse. So I am in possession of this story, this specific, slightly embarrassing story across the road here. Every single time I ask someone else what exactly was wrong with the thing they had already had, I suspect you have your version of this. Maybe not a deep fryer, maybe it's still in a cupboard somewhere. Maybe you got more than 2 uses out of it. Let's hope you have. But the shape of the thing, the gap between what you imagine it would do and what it actually did, I think you know exactly what I'm describing, don't you? Well, a consumer advocacy group in Australia, I won't name, recently looked back at Black Friday shopping behaviour, and what they found was sobering. More than half the shoppers said they regretted a purchase or had a poor experience during the sales. Oh boy, around half spent more than they intended to. Close to half felt not persuaded, not convinced. Oh, be careful what I'm stopping here. Pressured to buy. Oh boy. What are they putting on the road here? And nearly half bought things they didn't actually need. Now, retailers are not doing this accidentally. Every technique in the playbook is designed to shorten the distance between the want and the purchase until need never gets a chance to show up. Need versus want here, right? Countdown timers, only 3 left, 17 minutes remaining. The whole machinery built around one goal. Can you guess what that goal is? To act before you think. And hey, it works. The calendar proves it works. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, end of financial year. This is a really busy road, I've got to be really careful. There's Easter, Christmas, Boxing Day. Each one arriving before the credit card has recovered from the last. Yeah, you heard that right. I'm not saying shopping is wrong. I like shopping because it's easy, right? It's fun. But I do think about what kind of society we build when people are permanently in debt for items sitting unused in a cupboard. Let's go, George. Made it. When the buy has become the point rather than the thing being bought, that is not a healthy society. And I think quietly most of us already know it. You know who else knows it? Or knew it? King Solomon. He knew it 3,000 years before anyone invented a countdown timer. That's probably why the guy has so much wisdom. Have a listen to Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 10. He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. This also is vanity. If this is landing for you, go ahead, please. Hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, because there's more where this is coming from. Okay, the word vanity is worth pausing on it properly. It doesn't mean excessive pride in appearance. In fact, the Hebrew word, hebel, it means breath, mist, something visible for a moment and then gone. He who loves money will not be satisfied with money. Go and read that again. So the problem isn't the purchase. In a way it is. The problem is what you're hoping the purchase will do for you. If the answer is make me feel enough, I'm guessing maybe the new headphones cannot do that. Well, certainly take it from me, the deep fryer could not do that either. The heavily discounted whatever it is with 7 minutes on the clock cannot do that. It might satisfy for a day, stretch it to a week perhaps, then the next tab on your browser opens. Now this is not cynicism. This is Solomon watching human nature across the lifetime and writing it down honestly. The appetite is never fully, regardless of how many deals you find. That appetite is not a shopping problem. Someone's trying to call me. It is a hard problem. What you are reaching for when a timer hits 0, that is the question worth answering. And no sale price in the world can get you there. Now, see if you can find this in the library. There's a book called The Millionaire Next Door. It's a study of genuinely wealthy people. What the authors found runs completely counter to what the Black Friday email assumes about you. Yeah? The people who actually build real wealth tended to live well below their means. Alright? They have modest houses, older cars, clothes they didn't announce themselves. You walk past them in the street and not know they're millionaires. I know a suburb like that. The people who look wealthy, who performed it, were often the ones who weren't. Just check out all those people on YouTube, right? Proclaiming they're wealthy, get rich quick type of people. Yep. So let me repeat again. The people who look wealthy were often the ones who weren't. Every dollar spent performing wealth was a dollar that didn't go to building it. Now, personally, I spent time working at a payday lending company. I mentioned it before. Early in my career, right? In my financial career. I saw up and close what happens when a gap between income and spending quietly widens over the years without anyone naming it. Alright, people borrowing at interest rate that will make your eyes water. Yeah, they buy things not for emergency, they buy things like TVs, holidays, stuff like that. Yeah. And nobody sat down one day and decided to get there, right? They drifted, purchase by purchase, sale by sale, countdown timer by countdown timer. That deep fry story I told you was one drift. Although a small one, I can laugh at it now. But drift doesn't stay small. It actually gets harder to see the further you go in. So think about it, right? Is the heavily discounted thing generally going to improve your life in a way that lasts more than a month? Or is it already in a metaphorical cupboard? You just haven't admitted it, have you? He who loves money will not be satisfied with money. It was true 3,000 years ago. It's true this afternoon. And we true continue on. Friend, the question I asked my colleague that Monday morning, the one he couldn't quite answer, what exactly is wrong with the one you already have? So I hope you got something out of this. I know it's a bit short today. But yeah, I hope it's been helpful, because there is a war going on for your mind. Constantly ask you to buy stuff. Stuff that you don't need anyway. Alright, thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.